Broadcasting from a computer with Windows 95, deep within an underground bunker somewhere in the back of your imagination, it's the Use Your Weight Radio Podcast, presented by the JXB Radio Network. And now, two men who remove tags from mattresses. And you'll never take them alive, coppers! It's Dr. Motorcycle and the fantastic Johnny X.
All right, everybody, welcome into the Use Your Weight Radio Podcast, Episode 1. I'm Dr. Motorcycle, and with me, as always, the fantastic Johnny X.
You know, Motorcycle, we're doing it backwards. We're doing it the opposite of what everybody else did. See, everybody started in audio and then pivoted to video. We're going the other direction. We're pivoting to audio, and I am personally really excited at this prospect. I really looking forward to the show. I'm hoping people are listening. I'm glad people tuned in, and I think we've got a lot lined up to entertain the people.
Well, you know, it's just something that we do from time to time, creating things and making things and being creative on the front end. But, you know, it's a good endeavor to get into. I hear that podcasting is the next great rage in media.
Yeah, that's exactly what media needs. The world absolutely needs another podcast, and that's what we're here to do by our own rules, as we've always done over the last 25 years.
Yeah. All right. What's been going on this week? We got the Super Bowl in full effect. We got some other great things going on in sports. Give us the rundown, Mr. X.
Well, you know, yeah, like you said, the big one, the big elephant in the room that blows everything out of the water. I mean, we could sit here and talk about, you know, the scoring explosion of guys in the NBA. You got Luka Doncic dropping a 73-point game after Joel Embiid dropped a 70-point game, and Steph Curry the other night dropped a 60-point game, became only the second player age 35 or older in NBA history to do that behind some guy named Kobe. We could talk about that. We could talk about Cody Rhodes getting screwed by The Rock, the fact he's on the board of directors of the WWE's new parent company. I'm sure that's just a coincidence, but but that's all dwarfed by the Super Bowl. That is coming up as we're recording this. It's coming up a week from today. Of course, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers. Really, you know, a matchup of two of the best. It's hard to say the two best teams in the NFL this year. The Chiefs had a bit of a down year, but they have the great equalizer in these things. And Patrick Mahomes, the best by far quarterback in the league. San Francisco is just a great team. So it should be a really good game. But even the game itself is being dwarfed by the possibility that Taylor Swift will be in attendance, not as a performer, but as a fan, because her boyfriend is the starting tight end, Travis Kelce, the starting tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. And you and I were talking before the show got started here, before we started recording. And like I told you, I kind of feel bad for the Super Bowl halftime performer, Usher. He's going to be, if Taylor does in fact come to the game, he is going to be outshined by someone in his own moment who never even sings a bar. So, I mean, that'll be fun. And I'm really curious what social media looks like this week leading up to that, what social media looks like during the game, just because of the Taylor factor. Love her, hate her. She's the most famous person on the planet, and she has an orbit all her own. I am really curious to see how that goes. But that's about all we've got in sports this week.
Well, that leads us to the ultimate question. Is if Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce show up together in the same place at the Super Bowl, will the ground, in fact, actually open up and hellfire rain out and Armageddon begin?
Talk to me in a week and we'll find out.
Well, I hate to interrupt you, but there's a situation apparently going on. We now go to our live reporter on the scene where Cheeky is standing by. And Cheeky, I understand there's quite the commotion going on.
That's right, Bob. Cheeky here on the scene for Use Your Weight, where a Prius has crashed into a Tesla and... Oh my God, Bob! A clown car has just crashed into the local synagogue.
Cheeky, are you all right?
Now, the clowns are getting out one by one, and some people have. The clowns are still. Wait. Here comes what appears to be a gang of mimes who are miming at the clowns that they want to go.
Mimes?
It's about to get real, Bob! The clowns have chains! I repeat, the clowns have chains!
Cheeky! Cheeky! Well, it appears we've lost connection to Cheeky, but I'm sure that she's fine. We'll check in back with her later. Right now, we're going to take a break. You're listening to the Use Your Weight Radio podcast here, courtesy of the JXB Radio Network. I'm Dr. Motorcycle with the fantastic Johnny X, and we'll be right back.
You are listening to the Use Your Weight Radio podcast, presented by the JXB Radio Network. You can find us online at youtube.com/@useyourweight. We're also on Instagram at useyourweightpod.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
This is Jim from Pensacola. Do you have watermelon? I say again, do you have watermelon? Call me.
Welcome back to the Use Your Weight Radio podcast, presented by the JXB Radio Network. You can find us online at jxbradio.wordpress.com. Also check us out on YouTube, where we are at Use Your Weight, and on Instagram, Use Your Weight Pod. Johnny X, you seen any fantastic movies lately?
I absolutely have. I actually most recently went with Slim Reaper. We went and watched the re-release of the fantastic 2023 film Godzilla -1. They did a 1-week only re-release of that movie and called it Godzilla -1 minus color. It's homage. Toho put that movie out. They're the original creators of the Godzilla franchise, so they put that out in black and white like the original Godzilla movies. If you have not seen Godzilla -1, and you can find it in a movie theater because it won't be on physical media until probably Christmas 24, go watch it. It is the best movie of 2023. It's just a fantastic film. So cannot encourage you enough to go see it. But I also did watch a movie that I think recently, actually watched it yesterday, that I think we're going to talk about in this segment.
Yeah, speaking of movies that you can actually watch from the glory and comfort of your couch, our own Josh Bates is here to tell us about a movie that recently came out to Hulu called The Creator.
Coming to you straight from the labs underneath the JXB Radio Network, here's something I've been cooking up for the Use Your Weight Radio podcast. Welcome to Bates Debates Films. Hey there everyone, this is Josh Bates with Bates Debates Films, and I'll be discussing the 2023 film, The Creator. Set roughly 50 years into the future, AI has been developed and perfected, and machines are a part of our everyday lives until a horrific nuclear bombing happens in America, which was caused by the machines. AI is outlawed in America, however, in New Asia, machines live peacefully side by side with everyone who lives around them. So the leadership of America makes it their duty to hunt down and destroy all of AI, and if they have to invade other countries to do so, it's no skin off their knee. John David Washington plays a former soldier named Joshua, who is called back to active duty to help find and eliminate a new ultimate weapon the AI have created. Allison Janney is cast against type as a take-no-crap, hard-as-nails colonel who gets the job done no matter the cost, and she is magnificent as Joshua's commanding officer. Where the mission ultimately goes wrong is when Washington discovers that this new weapon is a robot girl named Alfie. He tries to follow orders but can't bring himself to kill an AI that looks like a small child. The young actress who plays Alfie, Madeline Una Voiles, is magnificent. She easily steals every scene she is in. Her acting is so natural it doesn't feel forced or fake in any way. While this film feels timely, being about the potential dangers of AI, that is completely unintentional. AI in this film represents the other, or anyone that isn't part of accepted society, whoever that may be, and how the masses can easily disassociate and not care about other people, simply because they are different from the rest of us. Overall, this is a very well-made film. The ideas are grand in scale, but the story feels personal as you get to know the characters of Joshua and Alfie. While you'll recognize influences from other sci-fi projects in this one, this film is still very unique with how everything is put together and the emotional gut punches along the way. The allegories in this film will be dissected and discussed for years to come, but at the heart of it, it's the human drama that pulls you in and makes you care so deeply for these characters and this world. While this may not be everyone's cup of tea, give it a chance. You won't be disappointed. I give it a 9 out of 10. For the Use Your Weight Radio podcast, this is Josh Bates signing off from underneath the JXB Radio Network.
Bates Debates Films here on the Use Your Weight Radio podcast. And what were your thoughts about the creator there, Mr. Johnny X?
Well, overall, I like the movie. I think, in a vacuum, I did. The thing that kind of jumped off at me that I didn't realize, Sturgill Simpson was in it. Big fan of Sturgill, the musician. But unexpected surprise. Interesting casting with him as a Black Ops military guy. Not quite as fitting as his role as a bootlegger, former rodeo star, bodyguard for De Niro's character in Killers of the Flower Moon. But the thing I kept kind of coming back to as I was watching it, it felt like a post-apocalyptic Golden Child. I kind of kept expecting John David Washington's character to yell at Allison Janney, "There is no ground in here." And it's funny. The last point I think is I just actually finished my most recent rewatch of The West Wing. So it was a little jarring to see C.J. Craig be this kind of cutthroat, evil character. Though I did find it funny that she kept yelling Joshua at John David Washington's character, after 7 years of mostly friendly banter with another Joshua, Josh Lyman, Bradley Whitford's character on The West Wing. But no, great. It was an enjoyable movie, and I think Bates really kind of brought that point home in his review there.
Yeah, I watched this film, and due to his recommendation, I should say, I watched this film. He's real serious about films, and when he tells me I absolutely have to watch one and he gives it like 9 out of 10 or whatever, I usually make a point to do it. This film, though, I don't know. It had fascinating visuals. It had a decent story. I could get along with it. I just felt like the acting just wasn't quite there. It wasn't believable. During the second act, I got a little bored. The actor who played the child definitely was fantastic for someone who hardly says anything through the entire movie.
I think we're ready to have that conversation. John David Washington, if you don't know, that's Denzel Washington's son. And I think we're ready to have that conversation between Tenet. Did the apple really far fall from the tree with him and his dad? Because sometimes I wonder, he can be a little hit or miss. I agree with you on the acting point. I would say that I rewatch a lot of movies. I don't know that this would be one I would rewatch as like a comfort watch. In a vacuum, again, I did enjoy it, but
yeah, I don't rewatch a whole lot of movies either, and I couldn't find myself rewatching this one. But for what it was pretty good. It's on Hulu right now. You can check it out at your leisure. We're going to take a quick break here on the Use Your Weight Radio podcast, presented by the JXB Radio Network, and we'll be right back.
Come on down this weekend to the $59.99 Supercenter, where everything is
$59.99.
vacuum cleaners,
$59.99.
dining room tables,
$59.99.
sectional sofas,
$59.99.
cheesy curtains,
$59.99.
inflatable unicorn horns for cats,
$59.99.
squirrel underpants,
$59.99. Big ass spatulas, $59.99.
For unbeatable value and endless excitement, discover the joy of budget-friendly shopping at the $59.99 Supercenter, where amazing deals meet your every need.
Use your weight. You are listening to the Use Your Weight radio podcast, presented by the JXB Radio Network. Today's episode is sponsored in part by Sarah Ruth Voice. For all your voiceover needs, from animation to audiobooks, characters to commercials, visit www.sarahruthvoice.com.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, this is Barb down at Barb's Adult Supply. You accidentally ran off and left your, accessories on the counter when you saw that nun walk in with the monkey. So, call me back.
All right, welcome back to the Use Your Weight radio podcast here on the JXB Radio Network, and we love music. Music is one of the things that we love the most around here. We especially love local bands, local music, bands that are, not heard of and not that well known, in addition to the ones that, do have some traction, some clout, and make waves.
Yep, the one of those bands, of course, is a band called Unsufferable. They have just released a self-titled 7-inch on Iodine Recordings. Pre-orders are available, bundles and t-shirts and 7 inches. Now, one of the 7 inches is sold out, but they, as of this recording, but they do have one still available. They feature members of some pretty important bands from the hardcore and metalcore world. 108, The Judas Factor, Omen Astra, and Bludgeon from North Carolina. And Ryan McInturp is in this band. Ryan and I have known each other for close to 30 years. We went to college together. Motorcycle knows him as well, for the same reason. Just a great dude, and I really love this band. They're really heavy, and I'm really looking forward to their full length debut, which hopefully will be out this year. Very stoked on that. So again, looking forward to their full length later this year. And in Motorcycle, I just want to add something. We're talking about regional bands and local artists, and this is something I bang the drum for all the time. Not everybody is Taylor Swift. Not everybody is Tyler Childers. But you know what those two people have in common? They started out as local musicians. Yes, even Taylor Swift was a local musician. So if you want to support local artists, don't just stream the music on Spotify or wherever. Go out there, buy the physical media, buy the records, buy the CDs, buy the cassettes. Some bands still put those out. Buy the t-shirts. Go see the shows at the small clubs. Last night I was at a bar in downtown Charleston, West Virginia, paid $7 for bands that'll never play to more than 50 people, and I loved every minute of it. So get out there and support those artists. Don't just stream them on Spotify.
Yeah, and I mean, local music turns into regional music, and regional music turns into national music, and national music goes worldwide. But it only happens if the bands get the proper support. You're listening to the Use Your Weight radio podcast here on the JXB Radio Network, and now it's time for the news.
Top of the morning to you. I'm Patrick McShonagh O'Shea.
And I'm the Mooch.
And this is the news as it's occurring on this day. For our first news story, at trendy Japanese cafes, customers enjoy cuddling with pigs.
Cuddling with pigs? That sounds like my wedding night.
Wedding night? Don't remind me. First there were cafes that allowed pets. Then came cat cafes, where lattes took second place to feline interaction. The latest craze in Japan, the pig cafe.
Cats are some absolute psychos, I'll tell you what.
We here at the JXB Radio Network do not discriminate against absolute psychos. Do we, Mooch? Do we?
You ever cuddled with a pig, Patty? They got really supple, nice, soft skin.
I've cuddled with many a pig, but the less said about that, the better. Moving right on to our next story. In New Orleans, a thief steals 7 king cakes from a bakery in a very Mardi Gras way.
You ever eaten a king cake, Patty? They're delicious. I found a gold coin inside of a king cake once. Damn near broke a tooth.
I'll break something if you don't stop interrupting me.
Now that I think about it, it wasn't a gold coin at all. It was somebody else's tooth. Son of a bitch.
It's rude to call yourself a son of a bitch, Mooch. I mean, you are, but, you know, I'm trying to be nice. And for our final news story of the day, a New Jersey animal shelter...
New Jersey? Holy shit, Patty! I almost got shot in New Jersey once during a deal in a back alley. I threw some dice the wrong way. Well, I'm legally not able to talk about it. We should just move on.
Maybe you should move on, Mooch. Maybe it's you. This has been the news as it's occurring here on the Use Your Weight programme, coming to you on the JXB Radio Network. I'm Patrick O'Patrick McShanna O'Shea.
And I'm still the Mooch.
Until we meet again.
Where in Ireland are you from again?
Up yours, you Mooch.
And that's the news that's occurring now with Patrick O'Patrick. Anyway, we've got a great news team here at the Use Your Weight Radio podcast, and looking forward to more of them. We are really fortunate to have them on the team.
Yeah. That was, I've heard a lot of news segments in my life, and that was certainly one of them. I don't know if you know, is he from Boston or is Patrick?
He claims to be from Ireland. I'm not sure whether that's like Ireland, the country, or Ireland, Indiana, or what. But
there is an Ireland in West Virginia. Fun fact.
Oh,
yeah.
Maybe it's there.
I've driven through it many times.
The word's still out on where the Mooch is from, though. Nobody can figure that out.
Good luck. I don't even have that in my notes.
You've been listening to the Use Your Weight Radio podcast, episode 1. Here, presented by the JXB Radio Network. I've been Dr. Motorcycle.
And I've been the fantastic Johnny X.
And we thank you for listening. Be sure to check us out at jxbradio.wordpress.com. Find our social medias, YouTube at Use Your Weight, Instagram at Use Your Weight Pod. And from everyone here on the crew, we just appreciate you listening, and come back for more. Be sure you follow, subscribe, and do all of that great stuff. And continue to support Use Your Weight here on this platform and wherever you may be finding us otherwise. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again soon.
You have been enjoying the Use Your Weight Radio podcast, courtesy of the JXB Radio Network, hosted by Dr. Motorcycle and the fantastic Johnny X. Our director is Bob McCoy. Our executive producers are Bob McCoy and Josh Exline. Our announcer is Sarah Ruth Thomas. Assistant producers include Brian King, Slim Reaper, and Josh Bates. Thanks for listening, and come again.
It's still real to me, damn it!